Hello, it's Monday. It's about 4:30 because it's been an extremely busy day. We got back from Southwest last night. I got up early, did a check-in. I'm 60.2 kilos. And is that my 60.2 or 60.4? I can't remember. It's not more than 0.4. And I went and did my cardio because cardio is back in. My fat burner is back in. And we are digging for more condition for the next shows. And the decision is that this Saturday's show, we're not peaking for. We're just going to continue digging and give me a high day, basically. I'm still waiting on a plan through from Amy on what to train this week and the pre-workout meal, which I think we've settled on. We're going to continue with the oatmeal, but I will tell you more when I've got it. But I went and did cardio, did about 5,000 steps, did a food shop, came back, had a coffee, my first of 3 today, because that's the kind of day it's been. God, it's just been a long weekend. Had my coffee, did my first lot of tan remover because Andy is going away with work for the week. So he's going to be away Tuesday to Friday, which is going to be more work for me, but also means that I can get to bed at a super reasonable time because I won't feel like I need to kind of stay up for anyone, and then I can get up at whatever time, like without disturbing him. So that's good, kind of. And of all the weeks for him to miss out on of spending time with me, the dig for more condition is not one to miss out on. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to be the most social butterfly ever. So 45 minutes cardio done this morning. I don't think I actually said how many minutes. We've gone back to 45 minutes cardio, by the way. So anyway, yes, whilst Andy was here, he helped me with the tan remover on my back because I figured I need to make the most of that. So he's exfoliated it and tan removed it, and then I've done obviously the rest of me. And I've managed to get quite a good, even colour overall. I will do another session of tan remover this week, but I'll exfoliate every single day and cream up every single day just to make sure that that's coming on nicely. The most important thing when you're doing back-to-back shows is keeping on top of your moisturiser and just trying to exfoliate evenly. That's the important thing, so you've not got patches. And then I washed my hair because I had all my cakey shit in at the roots from yesterday's show. Washed it, dried it, went to the hairdresser for her to do my roots again. Had a couple of meals, had a cold brew, and then I'm out finishing my steps. But when I get back, I've got my bikini to clean and my shoes to clean, and I figured that's probably a good time to give you a bit of a rundown on the show yesterday and what I thought and how it was and how it went and blah, 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 blah. But while I've got a bit of energy from the cold brew, I figured I'd box off this last 7,000 steps. I have just hand washed my posing bikini and my show day bikini, and they are about to go on the dryer. Ah, that's perfect. Andy's just nipped out to the recycling to try and find something to pop my bottoms around because it needs to go back on an A4 kind of size to make sure it maintains its shape. My posing bikini didn't actually do too bad in terms of staining, but I just thought better to have it fresh anyway, and I'll pop that in the airing cupboard because I'm not worried about that one having an impact from heat. It's just made of swimsuit material. But the show bikini, what I did was pop it in the sink bowl with lukewarm water, a squirt of fairy liquid, and I also just sprayed it with the pink stuff before dipping it. And I don't know whether it's because it's lycra as opposed to velvet like my other bikinis, but it fucking just slipped off. Any staining that was there on the inside has just gone, and that was black. Like, it's perfect again. So well done, Suze. Lycra is definitely the way forward for show day bikinis, to get the most out of them anyway, because you know how I feel about the velvet disaster that is my lilac one. Yeah, I'm dead happy with that. Really happy with that. I mean, in some places it looks a little bit purpley underneath, but I think that's just because it's wet as well. Like, that's fine with me. I'm just moving on to my shoes now, because as you, I don't know whether you can see, I mean, I made the mistake of stepping into the tanning booth when I was having my base coat without putting my towel down. I was like, oh my God, it's like I'm a rookie all over again. I completely forgot. But I'm just going around the plastic with a Dettol wipe, like a wet wipe, and just cleaning those up. I might be able to do something with the soles of them, but to be honest, no one's gonna fucking see that. And I'll be a little bit more careful next time. That is Bank Holiday Monday afternoon jobs. In a second, I'll sit down and do a rundown of PCA Southwest. Yeah. Okay, so I'm finally sitting down. PCA Southwest. So, all in all, a good show day. It did what I wanted it to do in terms of what I got out of it. I wanted a win. I got a win. It blew the cobwebs off for, you know, getting back into show season and competing in general. It proved to me as well that my kind of nerves and anything to do with my shaky feet, I think, was down to me not feeling ready before. I most definitely felt ready for toned this year, and it showed in my posing. My posing has improved so much, and I was really, really proud of that. I didn't get the overall, which I, at the time, was gutted with. I think there's different caliber of athletes, and especially when they have realistic managed expectations. I'm not aiming for a pro card. I don't think I'm pro card worthy. My goal is the sword, and I really, really want a PCA sword. And that, you know, I was so close, so close, but Brooke is extremely deserving, and it was a local show for her as well, and all her family were there, so it was really nice to hear that cheer from them for her. And yeah, you win some, you lose some, but I felt really good being up there with her. I'm really looking forward to getting the official photos back from that as well, so that I can see how I'm measuring up in general, and where I can improve on my posing and stuff like that. But the show day in general was hectic, and the goal for every athlete competing in a bodybuilding show is to stay as relaxed and chill as possible. Now, this show, the venue was an absolute nightmare. It was an absolute nightmare. So it was at Strode Theatre, and you may know it, you may not. It's the first time that PCA have ever used it, and if I'm being honest, I highly doubt they will use it again, because I think it presented more challenges for athletes than it solved in a way. So my makeup was at 8 a.m, which was late for a show makeup appointment or hair appointment, and so my priority was aiming for my makeup appointment. Now, if you are competing in a show, don't get fixated on the top coat tanning times on show day, because you can turn up to any ladies slot. You just need to be smart with it and see where your appointments kind of fall and just get to one of them, okay? So my makeup was at 8 and it should have taken about 45 minutes. The first top coat tanning slot for ladies was between 8 and 9. So I already knew I was probably going to miss that one. Had I been a first timer, I'd have probably panicked about that. And I think I definitely did at my first show. And this just comes with competing multiple times. You just learn to adapt and know what to stress about and what not to stress about. Getting to that tanning slot, that first one, is not something to stress about. So I knew that I was probably going to hit one of the later ones, which was fine. I ended up having my hair done, of course, so that took a little bit of extra time. And registration was at 9:30 for the figure class. So prioritised hair and makeup, then registered, and then got to the ladies' tanning slot at about 20 to 10 and got in there, then had to have my wristband taken off me because I needed to have my top coat. And I was like, well, there was no other time for me to go and register. I'll have to go back and get another one. And all of this would have been fine had it all been on one level. But to access hair and makeup, I had to climb up the stage, go across the stage, go down another set of stairs and another set of stairs to get to the dressing rooms where hair and makeup was located. So bear in mind, I've got a bag of food, I've got a bag of show day bits, and I'm lugging them up and down these stairs because at this point Andy is not with me, so I can't just dump them. And that's probably a little bit of poor planning on our part, but with having Maggie there, I didn't want him to come over hours before the show start and then leave her on her own. But it actually was lovely having her there at the same time, so I don't regret that at all. But having to lug my stuff up and down these stairs and then come back and do that all again because I needed to get my wristband. Usually most shows will have plenty of space for athletes to just chill out, whether that is backstage or whether that's out the front. There was very, very limited space here, so a lot of athletes were on their feet. If you hadn't grabbed a space in the cafe, you were kind of fucked because there just wasn't anywhere else. In order for athletes to kind of get ready for stage and rest, you need to have your legs elevated. So I ended up pitching up my towel from tanning on the floor outside a toilet and just lying there with my legs elevated for that height on my suitcase. But I also was very aware that I needed to get my meal 2 in at about 10:30 and do a check-in with Amy. And I needed to make sure that my tan was dry to be able to do that. So when I went back to get my top coat, I then had to go back, get my wristband, go and get changed into my posing bikini, go outside and do a check-in, come back in, eat my meal 2. Because the show was quiet in the first half, the classes were flying by quite quickly. So I got that meal in at about, I think I actually did manage to get it in about 10:30. I was lucky with that. But then actually by the time I sat down after having that meal, I think I was only lying down for about half an hour, 45 minutes before I was being called side stage. And so I didn't have a lot of time not on my feet, which is not ideal, but it's just the way the show was being run that day, and you know, you just have to get on with it. So obviously went on, won, which was great. Again, came outside, had some photos, caught up with Andy finally because I hadn't seen him much. I think I saw him for about 10 minutes, and between him getting there, seeing me, going and finding somewhere to sit down, and it not being long before I was on. He was trying to keep me updated on what class was on so that I could work out what I was doing and where I needed to be. But there certainly wasn't very long between him going and sitting down and me going backstage. So the second half and the overall, every PCA show has a interval. Second half of the show started at 1:15. So in my head, I was thinking, right, I've got a couple of hours where I can rest my legs up and just kind of relax. No, I didn't. I don't know what happened or whether time really ran away with me, but it really wasn't
a long time. Amy messaged me after the win, and after speaking to her, she was like, are you hungry? And I was like, no, if you want to keep me on absolutely nothing and just go in for, you know, pump up stuff, then that's fine. She was like, right, okay, that's the plan. Just sip on some water if you need it, but we'll try and, you know, kind of rest up and see if we can dial it in even a little bit more. And I was like, right, that's fine. And I wasn't feeling hungry, surprisingly. I did have my other meal with me, but I didn't have it. I was lying there with having had this conversation and planning what we were gonna have, if anything, prior to my pump up, and someone walked past, one of the show promoters walked past, and she was saying all the winning athletes are backstage for the overall. And I was thinking, no, I'm still lying here outside a toilet and I'm not backstage. And I was thinking, shit. Andy had actually gone back to the apartment at this point to check in on Maggie, take her out and take her for like a little potter about. He'd already walked her in the morning. And I was like, Andy, I don't mean to put pressure on you here, but if you don't leave soon, I think you might miss it. So he hauled ass back. I didn't see him before the overall. And I got backstage and I had to message Amy and say, look, this bikini class is on. And she was like, right, let's just pump the fuck up, eat some sweets. And I was like, oh my God, I've only got about 4 sweets left, because I only took what I thought I needed and didn't want to overdo it, because there's a very fine line between 90% in terms of pumping up and carb loading for it, a very fine line between 90% and 110% and looking shitter for doing it. So I only took the handful of sweets that I should have done that first class. So I only had about 4 sweets left, and I was like, Amy, I've got 4 sweets left. What do you want me to do? She was like, have a spoon of Biscoff and eat half a banana and your sweets and just pump the fuck up. So I did my best. Unfortunately, on this occasion for the overall, I fell a bit short, but I'm really looking forward to seeing how I fared up in that in comparison, and just seeing where I can improve for next time, because that's what it's all about, isn't it? But yeah, it was really fun. The overall was fun. I've not been in a PCA overall before, so it was a whole new experience for me, and I'm glad that that's the way that it went. But yeah, we're back on low days and we're back digging for more condition for the next few shows, which was always going to be the plan anyway. Low day today has hit. I'm just not used to it. I've been on high days for like the last fortnight, so getting back into my cardio this morning was actually quite nice. But especially for up here, like I feel like I'm working towards something again and not just coasting. But the low day food today, because it's my rest day food as well, it's just a bit drab, but I'm looking forward to tomorrow's food, even though it's another low day, because I will have some pre-workout oats, albeit there's not many of them, but it'll still be nice to have them prior to training and just get a fucking pump. And I think post-show, I'm always just gagging to get back into the gym, but Amy made me take today as a rest day, which is probably a good idea, seeing as I've had 3 coffees and have felt quite tired. I didn't get the best night's sleep last night. I don't think I even got to bed until about 11:10, because I was still sorting some bits out, and then was up at 6 to check in and get a good head start on the day. So it has been a long day, but I've got lots done and felt productive and got on top of my shit, and looking forward to the dig week for another one, which I think will be a good show. NABBA Northeast is a really good show for just how old school it is. It'll be really weird not peaking for it, because I don't think I've ever not peaked for a show. The next couple of shows that we've got coming up are higher priority and mean more to me. So that's the way that we're playing it. We're just having a little relax, aren't we, Mags? She's like, yes. So Andy and I are just having a night chilling. Everything is done, all the work is done. Normality is a little bit restored in the house. I've still got to put a wash on of all my tanny clothes, but that can wait until tomorrow. We just want to watch The Last of Us and hang out, because despite going away together this weekend, I haven't seen a whole lot of the guy and would quite like that. Good morning, it is Tuesday. I have trained legs this morning, which felt so good because I just fucking needed to train legs. Didn't train legs pretty much at all since last Tuesday, I don't think, because we were being clever about where my leg sessions were in the run up to PCA Southwest. So it felt good to do that. I've already done my cardio, so it's just steps for me for the rest of the day, and I'm already on 1,696. I didn't do any steps at the gym this morning because I was short on time. However, it's my favourite Tuesday where I've got the all-staff call, so I'm going to go out for a walk on that, which will be great. I'll make a dent in them. Don't think I'll complete them, but I'll make a good dent in them with only a few thousand to go. Imagine I'll probably get about 10, 11. And yeah, I'm feeling good. Andy goes away for the week today, which is a bit of a bummer, but also I'm kind of just looking forward to only having myself to think about, which is really, really bad. But that is the ideal prep week, if you know what I mean. Only having yourself and Maggie, obviously, to focus on and not think about anyone else is kind of great. So that is very well timed from him. I've just got a couple of meetings today, and I've got a little bit of admin to do, but today's going to be pretty chill work-wise. Things that I need to do this week is really stay on top of my skin prep and exfoliating for my next tan, which the first layer will go on Thursday. Not ideal to have them so close together, but if that isn't me throughout May, I don't know what is. I'm looking forward to this week. I'm looking forward to coming in a little bit tighter. We've had a little bit of a chat this morning, myself and Amy, about what the plan is going forward and what I'm aiming for, because I don't think I've said this on here yet. Have I? I don't know whether I have. We are going over to Ireland next week for PCA Ireland. I need to wait until I've got the feedback from the judges and the pictures before I make a decision on this one. But because I was borderlining condition for toned and athletic, Amy and I a couple of weeks ago made the call to go and try out athletic in Ireland. I'm not feeling all that confident about athletic because whilst my abs are there and they're doing something, they're not the most visible on stage. And I need to, for me, it's not an essential part of the criteria for athletic, but it really pulls the look together, and it's the area where I am lacking the most when it comes to me moving up to athletic. The muscle mass in my delts could be bigger, but biceps, back, legs, everything else could be athletic. So I'm just like a weird little hybrid at the moment. I knew on Sunday that I wouldn't get moved to athletic based on the other girls in my class. So I don't know whether that's a true reflection of where I'm at in this category at the moment. So we're just going to put the feelers out. It's a bit of fun. Andy unfortunately can't come, but my mum is coming. So it's going to be a little bit of fun, a little bit of a girls' trip. Albeit an expensive one, because Jesus Christ, didn't really factor that in to this prep. But it will be fun, and I want to be able to enjoy it. That's the plan for next week. And because that's the plan for next week, that is why we're not peaking and manipulating as much this week for NABBA Northeast. This week for NABBA Northeast, it's not about bringing an amazing look for this one. It's just about getting the invitation to the British finals at the end of the month. So that is how we're playing it, to try and prioritise the PCA Ireland show and to prioritise, obviously, the Universe the week after, which I'm not competing on the Saturday anymore, but just competing on the Sunday. feel good about the decisions that are being made and that I'm in a good spot. I also I'm feeling more confident that I'm in a good spot for a good placing, hopefully, at the universe. I think I will be able to meet my original goal of top 6. So that's where we're at the moment. There's been lots of thoughts and discussions this morning, but feeling in a much better place about them now. My fat burner went back in yesterday when my cardio restarted. It's been out for a couple of weeks. It's been out since, I think it was before my cardio got cut. So it's been out for a couple of weeks. It's nice to be able to have tools like that are still in your arsenal for bringing that more refined look. We always wanted to bring a leaner, tighter look and make some improvements from the qualifier to the universe. So that is still very much the plan, and that's what we're doing now, and that's also why we're prioritising the universe over any looks for the NABBA Northeast show. The last time I competed in NABBA Northeast, I won by default because I was the only person there in my category. So I don't think, based on the numbers of figure competitors this year so far, I don't think it's going to be much different. I know one other person that is competing in that show in my class. I don't know them, but I know of one other person, and that's it. So we'll see how I get on. NABBA tend to favour a softer toned look, so it'll be interesting to see whether I get moved. I'm just getting my steps in, the remaining ones on the treadmill. Andy took Maggie out this morning for her walk. She can't be asked. I can't be asked, can I? You've already had a walk, so I can't be bothered to be outside. And thankfully, yesterday May did 15,000 steps. So I'm even going to cut it short. Thank God for her, because my mood today is just one of, it's been a long week and it's only friggin' Tuesday. I don't know whether it's a bit of post-show blues or not peaking for this show and feeling like I should be doing more, or just being a bit tired because show weekends are long, but my personality has left the building. And Andy, from this standpoint, couldn't have picked a better week to go away, because if this is a sign for the rest of the week, well done him. I'm looking forward to having my creamy and just rotting on the sofa, and maybe doing a little bit more foot prep, because this silly bitch got overexcited about jumping in the tanning booth for my base coat on Saturday and didn't put my towel down, so the bottoms of my feet are black. However, my little foot shavery thing is just doing a madness on them. It's going to take some doing to get that off, and I'll moisturise and I'll go to bed, I think, because it'll be Thursday before we know it, and my first base coat of doing my own tan will go on. So I need to have a really good go at getting this off as evenly as possible, with as little aggravation to my skin as possible, as well as, but it's doing well so far, but I'm definitely going to need some more rose and caramel because you got to put it on thick to get the result. Good morning. It is Wednesday. It's Wednesday. I have to keep on checking myself on what day it is because, by the way, you know, just normal things. Couldn't find my deodorant this morning. Found it and brought it downstairs. It's Wednesday. I keep having to check myself because we've had bank holiday after bank holiday. It's like the gooch of Christmas. I did my check-in this morning. My weight is slightly up on yesterday, but I hadn't pooped properly since Monday. I know exactly why it is. I always have exactly the same reaction to my fat burner when it goes back in, but I think it will be in for the foreseeable now, so my body will
acclimatise, whatever the fucking word is. And that's fine. This morning I've done my cardio. I've done about 5,000 steps. I've had a good pose and I'm looking really good. And it's so frustrating because if my midsection just looked a little bit harder, I'd say that I am a contender for a good placing in athletic this year. But I just think my midsection, no matter what I do, looks soft. However, we've got a couple of weeks to see what that looks like and try and bring it in a little bit tighter and bring me in a little bit tighter and just see what happens. The dig is still ongoing. Amy is actually travelling to the UK today, so she's got my check-in but hasn't responded to it yet, and I'm not anticipating any kind of response until about 1 o'clock this afternoon. But I know that the low days are upon us and we'll probably be here for a little while yet, just while we try and pull things in before the universe. Bold claim and a very strange statement. I don't think you'll find anyone in the world that is more moist than me this morning. When I got back from the gym, I put another coat of rose and caramel on, had another good exfoliate and moisturised myself to the point where I looked like a 5-year-old on a hot holiday, covered in sun cream, and just let it soak in to try and get the last remnants of tan off. I've done a good job, to be honest. Yeah, I'm really pleased with how I'm looking this morning. I'm not bothered about my weight. I'm 60.35. I was 60.1 yesterday. I'm not concerned. I've been for 2 sizable poos this morning, so things are getting back underway. I knew they would. And I know exactly how to get one going. Went and got myself a cold brew, didn't I, on the way home from the gym. I'm going to have my meal 1 now. It won't touch the sides. Which is 30 grams of oats, 20 grams of whey, and 100 grams of berries. Food is very boring this week because of the low days. But it's all right. The goal is bigger than the food, do you know what I mean? Looking forward to this weekend. It's actually quite nice to have a show on a Saturday because then you can actually chill on the Sunday and still have some sort of weekend. It's a late starter though, so it's going to be interesting to see how Amy and I do this. I've got to be at registration for 10:30 and the show doesn't start until 12. So it's going to be weird. Going to have to play it differently with food. I'm going to try a different approach to my pump up as well and take some dumbbells. I did have some dumbbells in the car for the weekend's show, but I tried it with my band and thought that'd be enough, but I don't think I get enough of a pump on the bands. So I'm going to take them and just try a couple of different things. I'm also going to try a different pump product and use my HR Labs blow up instead of the ride on and see what difference that makes. Experiments galore. I finished work. I actually didn't realise it was 5 o'clock. I was just working and then was like, oh, I need to probably stop that. When Andy's not here, I can just have tunnel vision and not realise the time at all. I've had a reasonable day, apart from Maggie did a runny shit on her walk and then stood in it. So that was probably the low point of the day. I've got some shit to do tonight. What do I need to do? I need to go and pick up a delivery at Boots. I need to finish my steps off. I need to cook some mince. I need to write a letter for one of my clients for a GP referral. Yeah, I've got about 4,000 steps to do. But that'll be right, won't it? She loves looking out the window. I don't think I've got many more show bits to do in terms of getting myself ready for next week, because last night I booked my top coat because I'm going to do my own base coat. Well, I say I'm going to, my mum's going to. What else? Sent music off. I bought mum a spectator ticket.
Definitely did something else, but I can't remember. But yeah, I need to go and pick up this order, and then I can crack on with the rest of my night, which is not going to be all that exciting, but that's fine. We're not here for exciting at the moment. We're here for just fucking box ticking, which gives me so much satisfaction you wouldn't believe.
Good morning, it is Thursday and I'm 2 days out from another show. It just does not feel like it. It doesn't feel like it. I feel really, really weird about this one, and the fact that like my water's the same and my food's just low and I'm digging for another one. It's like I'm treating it as it's not important, and that isn't the case. Like in my head, it's still very important that I look good for this show and that I qualify for the British, but the actions I'm taking are based on like another one. So yeah, feels really weird. But I've done my check-in this morning. My weight is holding at 60.1. It's down from yesterday, which was 60.35. So there's been a bit of progress and a bit of movement, but there just isn't as much to come off me anymore. The huge weight drops are just not going to happen. So it's just a case of tweaking and seeing how I appear as opposed to what my weight is, I think. But I think there's still room for me to be in the 59s or the 58s. But I've got a good couple of weeks to do that. My cardio has gone up to an hour and my fat burner has been increased. So it's going to come off me one way or another. That cardio didn't feel so bad. I think I've beat my high score, but I can't remember what my last high score was for my 60 minutes. But I'm feeling okay. I think I'll feel knackered later. I remember my last run on low days with an hour's cardio being a bit of a slog once it got to 4 p.m. If you remember Andy's half marathon, I was not feeling wicked, but that was with shitty sleep. So I'm going to make sure that I prioritise my sleep over the next few days, even though I was anyway, but even more so. So today's plan of action is I'm at work, but I'm still at home, working from home. I am going to go and get a Starbucks because I can and I want to, and it's a little treat for what I've just done. I'm going to go and get a Starbucks. I'm going to go home and I'm going to do one last attempt with Rose and Caramel on me, because later I'll be doing my hair removal again and my mum will be coming round to do my first coat of base tan, because we're doing this tan ourselves for this show. Will it be as good as a PCA tan? Probably not. However, I have seen and I have done some wicked tans for show days on other people. So I've got a new technique this year for this. So I think that's going to pay off, because the last tan that I did where I was doing this technique looked wicked and flawless. So let's see what that looked like. But it is going on over the top of as moist as I can make it skin, but with little remnants of tan. I need to really focus on my armpits today with my tan remover. But that'll all be later on after work. I'll show you what I picked up from Boots as well. I've got a couple of other deliveries that are going to be coming in over the next few days for later shows, and I'll show you what's in them as well. But yeah, back to fucking low days. But I really enjoyed that upper session. This week has been hard not training as much as well. I've only done 2 training sessions since my last show, and I don't really like that. But it is what it is. Everything's fine. Just because I don't like it doesn't mean it's not the right thing to do. But yeah, hopefully it's a quiet day at work today, but I still need to get quite a lot of steps in, and I'm gonna have to prioritise tanning and stuff tonight. We are just back from a lunchtime walk. You did so good. You were such a good girl on your walk. I've given her a banana because she was so good on her walk. I thought I would just jump on and talk through, before my next meetings, a couple of bits that I picked up, because I treated myself
Seeing as I'm doing my own makeup for a couple, well no, 3 out of the next 4 shows, I treated myself to a couple of bits. So I picked up, I think this is a horrible name for a product, but it does make sense, the NYX Professional Makeup Face Glue Setting Spray. Now, I've heard good things about this and I thought I'd give that a little try. I wanted to splurge and get the, is it Kryolan setting spray, but I just can't spring for, like, I can't spend £30 on a large setting spray. It comes in, like, I think it's 45ml and 300ml, and the difference is, like, do you pay 12 quid but then a shit ton of shipping, or get the fucking massive one? And I just, for how often I'm going to use it, I didn't think it was worth it, but it is an excellent setting spray. I've wanted this product for a really long time because it's iconic and I just haven't ever reached for it and taken the plunge, because it's an expensive blush, but it will be worth it. This is the NARS blush in Orgasm. You probably already knew what was coming there. And the reason why I went for this one is because it's the perfect peachy pink for any skin tone, which means I can wear that for show and I can wear that just in general. I also picked up one of my favourite brands for matte lips, matte liquid lipsticks, is Kat Von D. There's one just hanging around here on my desk in the shade Lolita 2. That is my, like, peachy toned matte lip that I like. But I sprung for the Everlasting Hyper Light Liquid Lipstick, which I believe is what that is, but the packaging is slightly different, in Blood Flower, which is a very bright orangey kind of toned red. Because a red lip on stage just always hits great. That's what I picked up from Boots. I have got a MAC lip liner and lipstick combo coming from Look Fantastic. I can't remember what I got them in. I think I got the lip liner in Whirl or Soar, and I got the lipstick in Twig, because I haven't got like a dirty rose kind of coloured lipstick or lip liner, and that bangs on olive skin, and I figured it's good to have that in the arsenal for show days and when I've got a tan. So yeah, that's what I picked up. This is not ideal. Over here we've got glitter screen, and yeah, this is fantastic. Other than my desktop setup being possessed by demons, it's been an alright day. I've had a busy day. I had a debrief to do earlier. I've then been writing up a debrief report on an incident that we had. I've also done a business continuity plan review with the team, and I've been writing that up and the amendments and stuff, and it's now 10 to 5, so I feel like I'm in a good place where I can go and start like my hair removal and stuff. I've got quite a lot to do tonight. I want to get some washing up done from stuff that I've had today before my tan starts. My mum's coming round to do my first coat of my tan shortly, but I think I will have a bit of a tidy round because I can go out for a walk when I've got my tan on. I don't care. You know I don't care. I'll also just get on the treadmill if I need to. It's no bother whatsoever. I need to pop to Sainsbury's. I also need to pop to my hairdresser, who has picked me up a curling wand. After my hair was done at the weekend at the Southwest show, I fucking loved it. It was so good. And it was all done by a curling wand, and the curls are different to when you do it with straighteners. So when I was with her on Monday, I was like, what brands do you like, and blah, blah, blah. And
she really recommended the Diva Pro range. So I was like, well, if you can get a discount at Sally's, would you mind picking one up? She was like, I'll pick one up for me too for when I do your hair. I was like, okay, thanks, that's great. So I'm going to go and pick one of those up from her house in a little bit. I really didn't want to have to like wash my hair for this weekend. I think I can probably get away with it because I won't be doing any cardio tomorrow. Nothing a bit of dry shampoo can't sort. I didn't want to have to wash it just for it to get caked in shit. Do you know what I mean? So this is one coat of the super dark base coat. I will wash this off tomorrow and then we will do another super dark base coat, but I won't wash that one off, and then we'll do a top coat on Saturday. It is super dark, but also I've used this on other people and under the lighting it's spot on. I personally would rather be too dark than too light because I have been too light on stage and it did not look good. So this is perfect. Did a different technique this time. Previously we have sprayed that on like with the spray nozzle, and actually it's so much easier to lob that in a Tupperware and just put it on. My mum had gloves on and then used the pad. I used the pad and occasionally topped up and put my hand in it and got really, really brown fingers. However, with a water wipe, that's not bad. I'm happy with it. I can live with that this week. Yeah, so that is one coat done. I've got about 6,000 steps to do, which is less than ideal. But I'm going to chuck something on the telly, do it on the treadmill so that nobody sees me looking like this. And then I'll have my last meal of the day. It's not great having it all this late. I think it's about 7:30, but it's just how today has had to go. Good morning and happy Friday from a very orange me. It's 7 a.m. I've already been up and about, done my check-in, tidied up a little bit, taken the recycling out, gone and grabbed a couple of bits from the shop, and I'm going to get some steps in and start my day off that way, try and get as many as I can in the next hour before 8 o'clock, and then I will go and wake Maggie up and everything. She generally can sleep in her crate until about 9ish and will just be snoozing and snoozing, so I will do that. And then when Andy gets home later, he can walk her whilst I'm having my second base coat done. But it's come out pretty nice, to be fair. I will sort Mags out in a bit. I will wash this off before I start my half day at work, and then I might have a play with my new waver and just get my hair in a good position for tomorrow to just kind of top it up. And he'll be home probably midday, 1 o'clock, so I can get a load of bits done before he gets back. But I think it's another low day today. I'm not actually sure. I weighed in this morning at 59.5 kilos, so I've lost 0.6 kilos overnight, and I think it might have come off my face. It's such a wild process, isn't it? Yeah, 59.5 kilos. That is the lowest I've weighed in my adult life ever. I've washed off my tan and it is quite light, but I'm not going to freak out because I did this at the British finals when I did my own tan. My own tan was slightly lighter, but I also did my own top coat for that, and I'm having a PCA top coat next week, so I'm not worried about that at all. I've got so much done this morning. I don't know what it is about when I'm in like can't do any more for a show mode. It's like I look around the house and I'm like, I can clean that, I can do that, I can do that. I've been out and about, washed my tan off, got 5,000 steps in, put a wash on, cleaned my retainers. I made sure that I've picked all the poops out, taken out the recycling, had a meal. Calm down, just calm down. I don't know whether this is how I manifest nerves in productivity. I don't know, but I'm just about to start work now. What I actually came on to say was I got my pictures back from Southwest last night. I've been waiting for that all week because I wanted to see how I looked and how I might fare in athletic. Now,
I know that I didn't pump up too much for my category when it came on stage. Even in the overall, I can look a lot fuller and I can look tighter. I look leaner. I looked leaner the morning of that show than I did in the overall. So that's what I wanted the pictures for, to be able to do some comparisons and to go through them with Amy. They're expensive, it's about 65 quid, but getting pictures is important for being able to see like where you need to tighten up and what you need to do, especially in the absence of your coach there on the day. And also because how often do you do something like that? Those memories and those photos last forever, but this physique will very quickly be gone because it needs to. This isn't a healthy way to look or be. So I wanted them back so that I can see what needs tightening up, what needs bringing in. And it will also influence like how I peak next week. Obviously we're not peaking for this show tomorrow, and tomorrow is a bit of an experiment anyway, with me drinking plenty of water, just going about my day normally, having a lot of carbs because it's high day. I mean, we might switch some meals around so that I've got more carbs in the morning. I don't know, we'll play that tomorrow, but I'm going to prepare everything anyway. And yeah, I'm looking forward to experimenting a little bit tomorrow, because it means that I can bring my best for the next 3, because they're the most important ones. PCA Southwest was just about, really, it was just about getting my invitation for the universe, which I did, and then it was a bit of a bonus that I won, and I was in the overall, and I got my first experience of an overall. Not my first experience of an overall, I did that in my second ever show, but first PCA one, which is far more important to me and just a bit more intense as well. And I know where I can improve on that, and we've looked at like how I pumped up on the day, and I'm going to take some dumbbells. I'm just going to try some different things. I'm looking forward to it because it'll just better inform how we do next week. And I know that show, the universe, the NABBA British finals, all being well that I qualify tomorrow, I'll just look the best I possibly could. And what will be, will be. I'm just having a delightful 80 grams of chicken and some salad. Do you know what? This meal is fine on a high day because it's got 20 grams of light mayo on it, but on a low day, it's just a bit fucking dead. As soon as I'm the delivery queen, I've had a couple of bits arrive that I will be kind of using for show days. No, in fact, no, I am. They're just very naily and makeup-y. After doing my nails last week for Southwest, I really fucking enjoyed using the extensions and the Fix and Flash kit from Miley. So what I've done, I mean, I've got my own extensions, but things that I didn't have is the nail extension clipper, because I will get into wearing the nail extensions because they've just been the perfect length this week for me to still be able to type and do shit. In my head, when I've had nail extensions before, they've been too long for me to actually enjoy having them. Certainly when I used to have like coffin shaped nails, I'm talking back in the day, and had them professionally done, they were so long that I would have never been able to train with them or anything like that. So I got myself a nail extension clipper because that is a handy tool to have. My mum's got one and I was jealous. Speaking of my mum's got one and I was jealous, I actually got my mum the gold flake top coat that I've got on now. I bought that for her for Mother's Day in amongst like a few Miley bits. So I bought myself one. And whilst I was there, I also bought the rose gold one because I thought, that's cute. And I also bought the 5-in-1 white builder gel because whilst the pinks are nice, the white one that they do is like that, I hate myself for saying this, but it's literally everywhere, clean girl aesthetic, milky white nail. You know the what?
I know I've just said that and I feel sick saying it, but you know exactly what I mean, like the Milky Manny. That's what that looks like. I also bought myself the little Stamp It Out silicone stamp. Now, a friend recommended this to me. I don't often do French, and when I do French, I usually use like a colour on the tip. But what you do is you press your nail into the silicone with your chosen, whether it's white, whether it's purple, whatever you want as your French tip, you just press your nail into there after having put that on top, and it gives you the perfect French tip. Fucking lovely, because I'm terrible at doing those on myself. Then my Look Fantastic order arrived with my MAC lip liner in Whirl and my lipstick in Twig Twist. Now, originally I wanted to find Twig and I couldn't, so I got Twig Twist thinking it's still that kind of dusky pinky kind of colour. And similarly, the Whirl lip liner is basically the same, but I should be able to ombre them a little. You know what I mean about it being that muted pinky colour? I don't have any lip liners like that, so I'm not being a twat and just over purchasing. I don't have anything. When I topped up my makeup myself on Sunday, I used one of my Doll Beauty brown, was it like a brown nude kind of lip liner to top up with, thinking, yeah, that'll stand out. No, it didn't, because it's not got the right pigment in it to stand out against the tan. So actually you need this kind of pinky colour to be able to do that. And it will look different on different skin tones, but particularly olive and olive and tan skin tones. This is great as like a standout colour and lip liner while still keeping it pretty neutrally nude. So that's what I bought, and that's what's arrived. I'm going to finish eating my salad. I've finished work now. I'm going to even chase it up with a Coke Zero. And Andy is nearly home, I think. So I've still got 6,500 steps to do. Whether I will do them out and about, being orange, or whether I'll do them on the treadmill and hide from everyone, I'm not sure yet. But I also kind of need to go out and get some stuff and shopping, so I'm gonna have to go to a shop at some point looking like this. But again, like last week, I don't really care anymore. I am just preparing my mince rice and green veg, which is my rest day. Probably my carbiest meal on a rest day. So it's 125 grams of rice, 120 grams of 5% mince, and I'm just going to chuck some broccoli in it because I've been enjoying broccoli recently. Had my show day food through. My first meal of the day tomorrow is my chicken salad. My second meal, which will be around 12:30, we think. The show starts at 12 noon. Amy reckons I'm going to be on stage about 1:30 based on the categories, but we're going to have a look at the sizes of them. And if there's an opportunity for me to like send her a picture of how many people are in what when I register, I'm going to do that, because then she can get a better idea of how long all of the comparisons will take for all the junior classes and some of the men's classes that are on before mine, because toned figure is the 7th class of the day, and we're not all that sure whether I'll get moved tomorrow, because NABBA do like a softer toned, and I've lost probably nearly a kilo since I was last on stage. So I am coming in leaner, which is obviously my intention, because I've got my eyes on the universe and next week's show. But I've got an oatmeal at about 12:30. I will have my pump up product just about an hour before stage, so about half an hour before I start pumping up is the plan. No pump up sweeties tomorrow because we're on plan. So I've just put a little pot of my HR labs blow up in there, and I've put an extra one in just in case we get a win tomorrow and I'm in the overall, because I will need to spread my meals out again and have another round of oats pre-stage and finish the day off with this meal. It's fine. I still get a lot of oats tomorrow, which I'm very much looking forward to. It's my favourite part of a high day, but I've prepared all of them in Tupperwares to take with me. We've got a loose plan of when I'm going to be eating. I'm going to drink as normal tomorrow because it's just a high day. We're not peaking, it's fine. So I can drink as much as I normally would. I will make my oatmeals up in the morning. I'll put them in these to keep them reasonably warm. I make these up at like 6 o'clock in the morning when I'm going to work, maybe even earlier than that, like 5:30. And when I eat it at 9, it's still hot. So these are going to be a winner tomorrow. If I don't win, then I can just carry on with those meals as normal tomorrow. Probably spread them out a little bit better because I wouldn't have eaten all of those things so close together. That's the plan, and it'll likely be back to a bit of a dig on Sunday. Amy wants me to really try and get as many steps in as I possibly can tomorrow when I get home. She would ideally like my 13 to 14,000. Depending on what time that is, I might go and just go on the treadmill at the gym. I might stay on the treadmill at home. I might go out for a walk afterwards. I don't know, but she wants me to try and get in as many steps as possible, but knows that it might not be possible. It's definitely possible, it's just whether I compromise on sleep or not, depending on what time we get home. But we'll see. Plan for the rest of the evening, I've just fed back to the girls. I want to finish my steps off, and I've got about 3,500 to do, so I'm going to do them on the treadmill. My mum's going to come round in about an hour and a half, do my next coat of tan, and then I'm going to sit and work out what makeup I'll be using tomorrow, just so that there's no mad rush in the morning and there's a loose plan of how I'm doing. I have made a very good dent in my steps. I think I'm about 12,500, so I will easily get to my 13 by the end of the day. And I am just sat with my box of shit looking to see what I'm going to do tomorrow and what I'm going to use. I got these for Christmas from my sister-in-law and I'm desperate to use them. This is the Made by Mitchell foil films. They're a liquid eyeshadow topper, so I think what I'm going to do is like similar to last weekend where I had almost like a metallic silvery rose goldy light inner eye into a darker smoky, potentially a little bit of pink in there to warm it through, and then do a really bold metallic lower lash line. I bought an eyeliner specifically for that, but I'm also really enjoying this bottom left colour in my Jaclyn Hill palette for that. Yeah, I don't know, but I'm just getting a few bits together so that I'm not looking for them in the morning. When my mum has come and done my second base coat, I am going to just finish packing my show day bag, which needs to have my bikini back in it from cleaning it earlier in the week, and it's come out absolutely great. So yeah, spot on. I think that's my mum at the door actually.
Oh yeah?
You want to go and let her in?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say no, imagine. No. Nope. Good morning. It is Saturday and it is show day. Although it might look like it, I do not feel like it's show day. I think because I've had like the no peak run up, but it's show day. I'm just setting down here
using my mirror fridge to do my makeup for today and my hair. Got my new curling wand that's just down here. Do you know what as well? If you're in the market for one of these, bear in mind I haven't tried it yet, it could turn out to be shit, but I'm quite impressed with the packaging so far. It's come in a metal tin and wrapped in a heat mat, and I like that. Don't just give me the product, give me all of the shit that I should have to come with it. It's digital. I'm probably going to set it at about 180. There's no need for any hair tool to go up to 210 degrees, to be honest. There just isn't. And I'm going to start doing something with this. I've got a rough idea of what I'm doing with my makeup, but I'm going to start with, I probably should start with my makeup, because hair always looks better when you've got your makeup done. True story. Excited to use my new products. I'm going to have to be careful with that setting spray as well, because I can't be getting that on my tan. Fucking face glue. And you know what, I'm even going to crack open a Monster, because it's not a peak week. And she's told me to drink as normal, so that also includes Monsters. I'll have juice the rest of the day. I'm not going to take the piss, but at least I know I'll probably do a poo now. I've done my check-in this morning. I'm 59.2, so I'm 0.3 down on yesterday, which is great. And, you know, it's nearly a kilo from the start of the week. We said we were coming in leaner. But if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. I have my supplements now and start this. I'll start with my eyes, but I won't completely finish them. Then I'll do base. I'll do all the detail in the base with the concealer. I will do brows at that point, I think. And then do contour, blush, powder, and highlight last. I've got my lip products here. Whether I'll use those particular, I'm not sure, but I've got a shitload of other stuff. But I'll let you know how I get on. I love doing my makeup for shows. Whether it looks good or not, I don't know, but I love doing it. Okay, I think I'm pretty much there. I hate this lip colour. I'll more than likely change it when I get there. And it was not a good idea to learn how to use that curling wand on the morning of a show. But I don't think I've done a bad job. I might put this back and just put a pin in it. I've got a couple of hair slides and stuff. Not a bad DIY job, I don't think. Right. I think that'll do. I need to remember to change my earrings. I'm just cooking my oats up. I will change that lip when I get there because I don't like it. Just girly things, and I'm just packing up the last of my food. My mum's going to be here in about half an hour to do my top coat, and then we'll get on the road and hopefully the traffic's not shit.
Girls, the stage is yours. Who's going to take the title? Who's going to be the 2025 NABBA Northeast winner? Come on, Hannah! Come on, Potsy, I can't hear you. Okay, ladies, we have a result. Could you please make your way?
Okay, it's about 20 to 7 and we're back home. And I'm just out getting steps because it's still just a high day and a rest day. Can we just take a second for how well this makeup has held up? I did this at 5 o'clock this morning? I used a different foundation this time. I used the foundation that Vita, who did my makeup for PCA, used. And would you believe it's a Maybelline Superstay? Cannot get over it. We'll definitely buy in my standard shade and not my show day shade. But anyway, the day has been wild. Absolutely wild. I'll start with the show itself. So it was supposed to be a 12 o'clock start, 10:30 athlete check-in. So you already had queues of people at the door at 10:30, which is fine. But then they were calling us through in class order to register. So bear in mind the teens, juniors, the novice classes didn't have as many people in. We were all just stood outside waiting. If I had peaked for this show, I would have wanted to sit with my legs up and stuff. So I was actually fine because just standing up, because it was just a rest day and I wasn't bothered. But yeah, not ideal. So when I finally got registered and in the venue, it was about 11:20. And I thought, it's a 12 start. Amy wanted me to eat this meal at about 12:30 because we were trying to work out when I would be on, because we knew that those first kind of 5 classes of the day were quieter and were much smaller. The compere told me that we would be taken backstage as soon as the show started, and I thought, fucking hell, okay, I need to get some food in me then. So I ate my oatmeal at about 11:45, knowing that I'd be taken through. What time did the show start? 1:20. 1:20 by the time all the athletes got there. Absolutely ridiculous. It was really hard to gauge when to do any pumping or anything like that. And bear in mind, I didn't have a whole lot of food in me during that pump up because I'd eaten it like so early. So we got taken backstage. We were backstage wondering when we were going to go on and not knowing when to pump up from, because they just started changing what they were doing halfway through, for about an hour and a half, an hour 45. So I was absolutely knackered by the time it came to going on stage. By the time I did go on stage, I walked out in toned figure and I hadn't hit a single pose. They just had us in the lineup and I got moved. So myself and Holly Richards got moved to athletic. My condition was certainly on point today, even though it's just a rest day. Accepted the move straight away, because the thing is, if the judges have recommended that you move your class, you're going to be marked down if you stay. So Holly was umming and ahhing about it, and I was like, you need to move, like, come with me, we'll both go. So we went backstage and started pumping again. Meanwhile, I haven't got a whole lot of food in me because all I'd had that morning was my oats when I got there, and by this point it was probably about 2 p.m, maybe even later, and I'd had a chicken salad at about 8 a.m. So I had about 7 Haribos and was just like, do you know what? I need to get this done. I will beg and plead with Amy later if she's mad, but I'm taking the executive decision to get some carbs in me. So I had some pump up sweets, even though that was not the plan today, and I came second. Absolutely made up with that. I fell down at some of the posing. They chucked things like abs and thighs at us, and I was like, that's a fucking women's bodybuilding pose for one. So that threw me off a little bit, but they worked us so hard. I've never been on stage for so long, transitioning and posing, and by that point, because I'd spent so much time pumping up, I was shot. I was so tired, but I'm absolutely made up with that. I really feel like I earned that, and yeah, I can't believe I've been moved up. So that's me in athletic figure for the British final. I do not anticipate a placing in that, but we will see. My condition was definitely the best today, even regardless of the fact that I came second, I was still coming in much leaner than anyone else on stage. But Holly's physique is just so impressive. Like, sometimes in figure, and when you're getting such a mixed bag, it's like apples and oranges. So I'm just out getting my steps in now after that. I'll show you my trophy when I get home, but I just really wanted to get out because I had barely any food today. By the time I got home at about 5:30, I got 3 meals to eat. So I've just chucked my chicken and veg and my mince meal down my neck, and then thought I'll get out for my steps to digest it. And then what I'll do is I'll go back home, shower, get this top coat off, and then I will eat my oats and enjoy them with my peanut butter and my banana in them. I'm really, really looking forward to those because there's no post-show treats for this gal because we're back to the dig tomorrow. It's quite nice to have a show on a Saturday because then I actually get another day of my weekend, which will be spent training legs. I got such a savage pump in my shoulder today that it's actually hurting to hold my camera up. So I'm going to park it there. And yeah, what a wild turn of events. My long-term goal is to be super competitive in athletic figure. This season has made me really, really want the card, the PCA Pro card, potentially a NABBA Pro card, although if their shows are run as bad as that going forward, probably not. I might just go for a different one instead of the Northeast one, but yeah, it's just really cemented what I actually want. You know, I won't be getting on stage for a very long time again after this season because we also want to start a family, but I will have those goals alongside that. And I'm excited to push and see what I can do over the next few years. But I'm looking forward to getting back to the dig tomorrow. Before, and I'm not entirely sure what the plan is yet for this one, but before another peak week starts. I don't know how hard we're peaking because back-to-back peaks is hard. And we've got Universe and NABBA British to think about. But yeah, I'm really excited for this next one. I still can't get over how well this makeup has lasted. Here's my trophy. Ta-da-da! It was a good day, wasn't it?
It was.
God, I definitely didn't need my teeth whitening again, did I? Look like Ross Geller. They worked us really hard on stage, didn't they? There were like two posing rounds where they moved people around and compared, and then we came back for the pose down as well, and then routine obviously. But yeah, it was definitely a tough one in terms of like posing fatigue and stuff, especially when you've not had a whole lot of food, but we learn. I did take this meal with me today, the oats and banana meal, but I've just made it fresh. I know that's really wasteful, but this feels like a post-show treat, even though it's not. It's just my normal rest day, high day meal 5, but I want to really enjoy it hot. Wash down with some GDAs. Good afternoon. It is Sunday and it is late in the day actually. I have had a busy morning. I got up, I trained lower. I was so tired this morning. I don't think I've wanted to do my cardio less than I did this morning, but I got it done and I did some posing practice, and I actually went through abs and thighs and had a good session just trying to contract like my abs in some tricep shots and some side chest and abs and thighs. I tell you what, I haven't got a pro physique by any means, but I've got the attitude, right? Straight back in there.
So I've been and done that. I've got about 5,000 steps in so far, so I'm a little bit behind on that, but I've just been getting shit done. I've had another attempt at getting my tan off and it's not too bad. Back-to-back showsing, so, and that, it is what it is. It's the way the calendar fell for me this year and what kind of shows I wanted to do. So it is what it is, but I've removed a good chunk of my tan. I've washed my hair and I'm just washing my bikini. I've sorted through a load of my show stuff from yesterday, but I've also started kind of repacking it because I might as well, because it's all going away with me next weekend. I don't think I've actually shown you a close-up of this bikini. I don't know whether you can see the very, very light blue in it, but that's why I did like the blue under eye. I think on stage it looks pure silver, but I wanted it to be like the iciest white blue. I'm excited to wear my other suit because I feel like every girl should have this colour bikini at least once. So I'm looking forward to that. Probably get out for some steps when Andy's home. I want to go out with him this evening or something so that we can spend some quality time together that isn't just sat in the car on the way back from a show. Poor guy. Right, I'll let that dry. And then get out for some steps. Yeah, 2:30. I did my check-in this morning. I am 59.4, so only slightly up on yesterday, and that could be impacted by, you know, not as much sleep and stuff like that. My fat burner did get increased yesterday, so things are about to get a little more shaky up in here, but it is what it is. I've just been glued to the PCA Northwest today, and the results from that are coming through. The toned category was absolutely enormous, and had a very, very nice surprise. And I don't know how she's kept this as fucking secret from me because we talk all the time. One of my really good friends, Vic, has jumped into a show today. I've been saying for ages, you're looking fucking lean. Are you sure you're not on prep for a show? And she's like, no, just doing a photo shoot. Bullshit. She came third, which I know she'll be absolutely made up with because she hasn't placed in a show yet. And I'm absolutely gassed for her. She's the lady that provides me with all my cookie box treats. Yeah, made up for her today. I played with the curl wand again today. And I like the end result. I don't know whether it's worth the hassle because fuck me, that thing is hard to use. And I burnt my ear. So I burnt my neck yesterday and I burnt my ear today. So I don't know whether that's worth it or not.
I finally did it. I'm out. I really, really can't be arsed today. And there's been very few days, I must say, throughout the last 21, 22 weeks, whatever it's been, where I can't be fucking arsed. And I'm just tired from yesterday. Considering I hadn't peaked for that show, that time on stage where they worked us really hard has really tired me out. My biceps are so sore. Can't wait to train them tomorrow. I'm just getting the last of my steps in before my peak week plan starts coming through from Amy. We did discuss today that I get a much better pump off stage. So I think she might give me a little bit more food this week to try and see how far we can push it for this next show, which I think there's definitely room for, because I was cleaning the bathroom earlier and the pump in my delts was mad, and I don't look like that on stage, and we need me to look like that on stage. So I might toy around with a bit of extra food this week, which is good news. I'm on a low day tomorrow, I know that. So we'll still have some cardio in. It might taper down, I'm not sure. I know that it'll definitely be out in a few days' time, but I don't know whether it'll still be at an hour, do you know what I mean? I'll wait and see what my peak week plan looks like when it comes through in the next couple of hours. Amy's been at another show today, so it's just going to be a watch and wait, I think. But I'm looking forward to steps dropping off again, man, because they're just, at this point, a bit fucking tedious. You're a little bit tired from shows, you just can't be arsed, but I'll always do them. At least the weather's nice.